It was silent.
Everything stopped. No cars, no people, and then as soon as like he stopped, everything started happening again.
And that to me was such a beautiful moment of presence and gratitude. And he lived a life of gratitude. And what he would always say, the simplest prayer is thank you, God. And so I've been focusing on that, like even if things aren't going away, thank you, God. Because I know that I'm being shaped and molded into a better version of myself.
Welcome to Living in 3D Power, a space where questions matter, stories heal, and joy is our practice.
Hey, it's me, Emma. Welcome back to Living in 3D Power, and today we're talking about Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, but why is this a topic today?
Because as you guys know, or if you didn't watch the last video, we went on vacation / seeing my sister's college in Pittsburgh. I
like how you were already claiming it and saying her college, because it's definitely very my college, Carnegie Mellon. So let's put it out there in the atmosphere.
She said she already said she likes terriers, so.
Yes, their mascot is a Scottish Terrier.
He's so
and what
cute.
are their school colors?
It's not color, it's pattern. It's like a Scottish pattern.
They're so quirky. Tartan. Yeah, it's like plaid, but not, it's like a Scottish plaid. So it's a perfect school for her. Yes. So since we were in Pittsburgh, and we were literally steps away from Fred Rogers Productions is what they call it now. So you have a picture, I'm putting it on a screen, of you outside or across the street from the production studio with the make-believe characters. So you had the big Tyrannosaurus Rex. Who was in the hands? I don't remember.
It was Friday the 13th and then this like cat.
Okay, the cat from the movie. So we watched, I was like, well, we're in Pittsburgh, let's watch the movie. So, and this is interesting because Daddy and I were in Charleston a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, we're in Charleston during the anniversary of Mother Emanuel, where they had a horrible massacre, and we were right across the street from that. And so I watched a documentary on one of the survivors from there. And so here we are, fast forward to like, oh, we're in Pittsburgh. What's local to this area? And it was Mr. Rogers. And never saw a documentary, or I don't even call it a documentary.
It was like more like a story.
Like a biopic, maybe. But plot twist, we won't give it away if you haven't seen it, because we were both like, I didn't see that coming.
I was like, what?
Yeah, so they do this stage, and it's Tom Hanks does an awesome job playing Mr. Rogers. But I think for me, I wrote some notes down because after the movie, I read the entire article from, what was that guy's name? Tom was the journalist in the film, and it was the plot was based off of this article. And so I read the whole article because I was so inspired by the documentary, and I was like completely nerded out by that point. And it was a 1998 Esquire profile on Mr. Rogers. So remember they were going to talk about heroes? And someone's like, I need you to interview Mr. Rogers. He's like, what? The like guy that plays with puppets or something like that, he said. And so it turns into this really beautiful, transformative experience for this individual. So I was really intrigued by that. And some of the things that struck me was that Mr. Rogers really practiced presence. Like his entire life was manifestation, embodied love. So last week we talked about love, and it's just so happened that this week, last week we went to see Carnegie Mellon, we were in Pittsburgh, and then Mr. Rogers is literally embodiment of love. So much so, Emma, do you know how much that man weighed? He consistently weighed the same amount of weight. Do you know the numbers? I love you. What that number is?
143.
He made sure he was diligent about weighing 143 pounds. Like every day weighed himself. He swam every morning. I think he got up at like 5:30 in the morning. Remember in the film, he would like be praying for the people. He said everyone's name out loud. So he had a diligent practice. And there's something so amazing about an individual who lived their life with such intentionality that I'm so inspired by. But the fact that he kept that weight, because his whole entire life was, I love you. I would love to be that way, by the way, but.
Aren't you?
No.
You're not?
No, ma'am. But that's okay. I'm gonna work on something. I don't know about 143, but I love the intention behind 143 because it meant I love you. What I also thought about Mr. Rogers, what I love is the work that we do and how he never lost his childlike essence, right?
No.
He's 70-something years old playing with puppets and talking to little kids. And I'm like, that is it. That is the key of life. And he centered youth voice. And something that he always said, and it was in the article, his quote that he wanted people when you remember, you were a child once too. So that talks about like the stuff that we talk about and how you talked about, adults become robots and we forget that we were kids. So he really focused on that. And one of the other things, remember he asked the dad in the film, he said, what are you, I'm not trying to give too much away, but that actually wasn't true. They just switched it from the article to the film. But he was asking, he said, people that are going through so many tribulations in life, I feel like they're closer to God. So he asked those people to pray for him, right? Like they're intercessors. So they stand in the gap for him. And you're like, Mr. Rogers is like as close as you're going to get to God. But he's like, no, like I want them to pray for me because I believe that, they're closer to God because of all the trials and tribulations. So that was a thing for me. But what about you? Like, what were the things from that film that stood out to you?
I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, can you try not to spoil it? Maybe we'll have to put a disclaimer, spoiler alert.
I'll try my best. I like the part near the end where, like, I'm trying to find the words. One of the main characters, he got like closer to his like kid and his wife.
Why was that significant?
Because before, like, he was just worried about work and the wife was just taking care of the baby.
Yeah, I think that was the like, that sound, y'all, was like, I was trying to be like how you do a hard left turn. That didn't come out right. Maybe I'll put a sound to that, a sound effect. That was better. Yes. So I think, yes, that was really significant. And I have so many notes, y'all, because I read that article. The other thing I think for me in the, Emma can see my notes.
Yeah.
The cafeteria or the diner scene was actually a little bit different in the actual, what actually happened. Mr. Rogers won I think he won an Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award. And so in the film, it says like a minute, just sit for a minute. Remember, like people were getting teary eyed. So during the Emmys, he asked people for 10 seconds just to think about, and I'm trying to find it in my notes, so I want to get the words right. What he said in the Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award was, all of us have special ones who have loved us into being. I just love that. Would you just take, along with me, 10 seconds to think of the people who helped you become who you are? 10 seconds of silence. So in the film, it's like, it was silent.
Everything stopped. No cars, no people. And then as soon as like he stopped, everything started happening again.
And that to me was such a beautiful moment of presence and gratitude. And he lived a life of gratitude. And what he would always say, the simplest prayer is, thank you, God. And so I've been focusing on that, like even if things aren't going away, thank you, God. Because I know that I'm being shaped and molded into a better version of myself. So thank you, God was huge. But the sitting and thinking about last week, how we talked about what does love feel like? And then him saying, think of the people, the collective people in your life who have helped you become who you are. I think that's really special. I saw something on Instagram the other day where a poet I love, and I'm blanking on her name. I still love you, but it's no shade. I get everybody's name wrong. She's a poet, and I posted it yesterday. I'll tag it. She was talking about how when she prays or when she's in a room, she brings all the people with her. So all the loved ones, all the ancestors, maybe the people that can't get in the room, so she's making space for them as a Black woman. And I think about that when Mr. Rogers saying, like, all the people that helped you become who you are. No good, bad attached to it, just the people that helped you become who you are. Can you sit in that and honor your becoming in that? And I think that is such a beautiful practice. So for me, overall, the thing was he lived a very diligent life. The journalist said that he was a stubborn man. And like, meaning that like he was about his business. Like he was about doing the work. And I think because remember with the little kid, he was like on his knees and they're like, yo, we got to speed up. We got to produce. And he was just in the moment with that kid and how the kid finally hugged him. And so much of Mr. Rogers' life was that, like just being present. Remember, he was talking to the guy, and the guy just like, well, in the article he talks about, he just blurts out all his stuff. And I think there's something beautiful about like being seen. Like this man, and like the way the eyes, like Tom Hanks got the eyes in the film, right? But it's something about being seen. And so now when I think about your question this week about what does it feel like to be seen, I was thinking about this morning, it's being seen. It's how people can look at you with loving kindness instead of like judgment or like scowling, what I experience a lot. So this is healing for me. This is what love feels like to me. So I thank you for helping me to experience that. So anything else about the film before we get into our questions today? Okay. I'm telling you, it's good. Y'all gotta watch it. We could have a whole like watch party and then talk about the film. Cause I was like, what? Ain't no way. Shocking. Okay. So as always, we're gonna go through our rounds of questions and either person may pass or pause. I kind of paused a little bit last week and I was like, this one's a little challenging. Listen fully before responding. We're working on that. Ask follow-up questions to understand, not to correct. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat, y'all. I don't know what's going on with this throat today. So again, you're going to ask me the question and then I'll follow up and ask you a question. So the first one, again, discovery helps us notice the stories, messages, and experiences that have shaped what we believe.
What do you wish the adults in your life had understood about you when you were a child?
I often just try to like be in the moment. So what came to me, two things came to me. The first thing that popped in my head was that I was very curious, and I'm still a very curious person. And I think my curiosity is a problem for some people. And it's kind of like in the film, like Mr. Rogers, when he was getting curious about like, oh, did you have a stuffed animal? And he was like, I don't want to talk about that.
He's like, no.
But I think maybe it's some kind of intuition. I don't know what it is, but maybe sometimes I think, well, I know. I probably tap on a nerve for some people because I ask a question that's an invitation to going inward when people are so used to being numb. So I'm very curious about people. And when I think about growing up, I would get curious and ask questions that people would shut me down because I think it activated something in them. It was like pushed on a nerve in them and they didn't want to talk about it. And I was just talking to a friend about this yesterday, Miss Kamika about this yesterday. And I'm like, I always ask questions and it would get me in trouble. But I think that, like my question are about connection. They're about learning more about you. It's really love. It's like just curiosity. And I'm like, it's not like a judgment.
Curiosity cards.
Curiosity card. Like it's just me, like perpetual toddler, like, right? I'm asking questions. And the other thing that came to mind was you said, what wish adults would learn, wish the adults in your life had understood about you when you were a child, that I was hurting, right? Like my mom leaving me. So that picture, I'm gonna put on the screen, the picture of me when I was 4, where I'm frowning and everyone in the family makes fun of me about that. They think it's so funny. And then I had to be like, let's look at the timeline. Let's look at the timeline. Like my mom had just left. So I think they were trying to make my life normal but they didn't allow, not that I can recall, time to talk about it because I think it was so painful for everyone. The one thing that Graham has said to me more recently was like, I just remember you coming with me to take your mom to the train station and you saying this is not fair. And so I think about that little 4-year-old, like what she was feeling, and had people more honored my grief, what that would have done. I don't think I would become as hyper vigilant because something that happened after that, if I think about the timeline, I'm not sure how old I was, but when Graham would go to work and Aunt Jerry would be watching me, I would have these dreams and nightmares about Graham dying. And so I'd wake up and Aunt Jerry would have to like have me call her to know she was okay. And I think that was all attached to like the abandonment thing and the trauma of it. And I don't think anyone made that connection because we didn't have the resources. We didn't know about trauma or mental health or support for kids grieving and going through a loss like that. And I look back now and I'm like, we all did the best that we could. Thank God for my village and how they all loved me. But those are two things, like my curiosity was not a threat and that I was hurting. And I wish someone would have seen more of that instead of just trying to make my life normal and fun. Like just allow me to and honor that and sit with me in that.
Got a hero hair.
A hero hair, because he's a dog that has recessive genes and he sheds. So any follow-up, anything you want to ask me more about that? Okay. So I'm going to switch to your question is, what do you wish adults remembered about what it feels like to be a kid?
To play. I love to play, but I have no one to play with.
So say more about you wish that we remembered about what it feels like to be a kid, about play.
Like, it's like joy when you get to play. Like, games or like be outside and play with people. Yeah.
So the follow-up that I have for that is like that you wish adults remembered what it feels like, so that we could go back to that childlike essence, like kind of Mr. Rogers being curious or being silly, is that we remembered the joy in play. And so it goes back to your word about, I guess I'm getting to a question. What would that do if we remembered that there's so much joy in play and getting outside?
I think more adults would be happier and more energized.
That's a really good point. You got me reflecting on that. So I think about, let's think about the discovery reflection part of this is one story I heard underneath your answer was. So for me, the story about that you talk about that we become robots as adults, and the story that we believe as adults is that we have to let that part of our lives go because we have to be so serious. And I think part of it is also that we get so bombarded with roles and responsibilities that it can be hard to reclaim that. But I think that's a story that we bought into, and that doesn't have to be like that. So I appreciate that. That's helpful for me. What about you? If you finish that sentence.
One story I heard underneath your answer was that you weren't seen as a little kid and that you needed to be more seen and loved.
Yeah, I think in that aspect of it, right, like the the grief or even the curiosity, right? But I think I often say that you are a mirror to me, like children are mirrors. And sometimes we don't like the reflection. We don't like what we're seeing. So we'll just like kind of silence a child. Or you're asking such a thought-provoking question that we haven't thought about or we don't want to think about, so we shut it down. Or me embodying, right, grief was what everyone else was feeling or it made them feel bad, so you kind of like dismiss it. So yeah, I think that's a good reflection, so thank you for that. Okay, so round 2, discern. Discernment helps us decide which stories still serve us, what aligns with our values, and what we may need to understand differently. So what's your question?
When someone you care about is hurting, what makes it hard to simply be present instead of trying to fix, explain, advise, or make the feeling go away?
Just how I'm wired. Because I'm just actually trying to fix everything and manage everything. And I'm realizing now that that's an issue. So what makes it hard, it makes me feel uncomfortable. So I'm so empathic, like I feel things so deeply, even touring the new venue for Uncle Abe's memorial. They're about to open this restaurant, and I was like, oh, I feel like you're overwhelmed. I'm like, are you breathing? And she's like, how did you know? She's like, you just feel so deeply. I'm like, I could feel that she was really tense. And that's not, it can be a gift, but also can be really hard because then you're just absorbing all of that. I feel like you're a lot like that too.
Yes.
You absorb it. So you're not just absorbing the joy, you can absorb a lot of the sorrow and grief. And what do you do with that? So when people are hurting, I don't necessarily want to take the pain away. I want them to honor it. and be present in it, and that's hard. And what makes it hard to simply be present instead of trying to fix, explain, advise, or make the feeling go away. And I think at some point, maybe it switches to me feeling a little bit of that. Like when I'm talking about me being a kid and how like I'm in my grief and people are like, it's okay, Amber, let's go get a toy or something like that, to make it better. And what would it be like to sit in that and be present with people? It's a gift for people. So I have to turn off it being about me and what my discomfort and really hold and honor what that person's feeling and whatever it is, and allow it to show up however it needs to show up. Because sometimes we just need to be witnessed and be seen until that moment kind of passes. Any clarity on that? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So your question is, how can you tell when an adult is really listening to you? What do they do or not do?
They don't interrupt.
Does that mean that they're listening? Oh, looks out.
It means they're not listening. When they're interrupting, they're probably thinking about what they're going to say and not thinking about what you're saying.
Well, that's TM. I love that, because that's something that we teach in listening practice, is exactly what you're saying, and that that as an 11-year-old, oftentimes we'll have the rebuttal, like we want to respond to what you said instead of honoring what you said. So I think part of this card dynamic is, right, the reflection we ask afterwards, or the follow-up question is really like, did you really hear what I said? And I've been toying with the idea of a card kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe like you notice, like as we're doing the cards, that I look puzzled or unclear, and then you like put down a like, what did you hear me say, or something like that? Not as a test to be like you weren't really listening, but just to make sure that you're being heard clearly. But that's wisdom right there. That's the chicken nugget wisdom card. Boom. That we have to listen to understand and not listen to respond.
10 points for me.
If we had a point system in the game, that would be 10 points. That's a good one. So the reflection for the discernment one is, something you said made me curious about. And then I'm always turning it back on myself, right? Because discernment is really about like, am I aligning myself with my values? And if one of my values is curiosity, do I at times maybe weaponize curiosity? Does it turn into, because I'm also, right, because of some of the things I've been through, like I can interrogate and and drill down because of trust. But I'm thinking, so when you're asking me something, maybe it does strike a nerve, or maybe it makes me just feel uncomfortable, or maybe I'm like, ooh, that's directed at me. And how do I make sure I'm getting curious about what you say and ask a follow-up question about what you said versus what I want to steer the conversation to? So that's what I'm curious about in this moment. Like, when do I show up like that, and how does that stop the conversation? What about you?
Something you said made me curious about. I don't really know. Maybe the part where you say, like, you can tell, like, when people are, like, hurting or, like, feeling, like, stressed or something.
You're curious about that?
Yeah.
Do you think you feel that? I think you do too. Okay. So round 3, devote. Devotion asks, see, that wasn't a whistle though, but that's what I thought you were talking about. So Emma has this thing, she says that I whistle when I talk. Do you hear it now? I think because you got them young ears, you know how like the dog whistles, like that high pitched? And I'm like, what?
I could hear the candle lighter thing.
Yeah, I don't
too.
hear that. I can't hear anything. I almost got hit, literally. So we're leaving the restaurant the other night. Someone forgot their food, so I'm running it to the car, and I'm in the middle of the street. I'm like in the median or whatever. Like there's like, the yellow lines blocking the street, so you're on this side. And I can't hear. There's a car barreling down the road. They're like, watch out. Girl, that car almost hit me. I couldn't hear it. They saved my life. The ears. So I can't hear the whistle. But I thought you were talking about when there's a SKS word, sometimes it sounds like, so say that word. Where is it?
Ask.
See? But no. So when we do intelligence testing, I think it's either in the cognitive or achievement testing, there's always these prompts where you have to say ask. So this ask is S-K-A, S-A-S-K, but this says devotion asks. So you have to put the S on the end.
Ask.
You're doing ask, A-S-K, but not with the S on the end. That's what I thought you meant when you were saying I whistled.
No, but when you say like, I don't know, it's like S's or something.
Look, we done got all sidetracked, y'all. You'll have to, when I do it, please, maybe you can record me doing it. I probably won't hear it because my ears.
You'll probably be like, what?
So devotion asks, that's how you're supposed to say that word, what we will practice, protect, or create because of what we have discovered. So what's your devotion question for me?
What is one practice that could help you make people feel more seen, heard, and loved when they are with you?
So just what we talked about in the beginning, like it's something about your face. It's something about eyes for me that are really, that would not help me feel what that's more like, I don't know what that is. It's something about the face, like softening your face. I think back to like the myofascial massage, like making sure you have a soft face that you're really, am I giving you the Mr. Rogers look? Getting really curious and pausing. So something I learned in grad school, we had to do psychotherapy. And so we were in this glass room, we were in a room and like behind, you ever see those crime shows? Hopefully not, but you might have. There's like a two-way mirror on the other side so they can look in, but people inside the room can't see out. And you can look at the interactions in there. So in class, I'd be doing therapy and I'd be getting graded on it. So the professor's on the other side watching me. And then you have to record that and show it in class. So she would always be like, Amber, stop stacking your questions. Dr. Hefferkamp, God rest her soul. I loved Dr. Hefferkamp. People were scared of Dr. Hefferkamp. She was probably like 6'1". She did not play around. She meant her business, but she made me an awesome practitioner. And she would say, stop stacking your questions. And I think for me, what I also have to learn is being present is just like, you can wait in the silence and let people have space to come up with a response or say, I need to think about that more. Mm-hmm. But because I'm just kind of like boom, 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 and I'm more attuned to my emotional awareness that I have the language for it. Not everyone does. I need to like be more patient with that, I think. And making sure, like you said, that my question isn't, my follow-up isn't a response, but it's more getting curious about what you just said. So I make sure I really understand. Make sense? Okay. So your question is, what is one small thing you can do that helps another person know you matter to me?
You know what I'm going to say.
I don't want to assume.
You know what I'm going to say.
Say it.
Hug.
What if someone doesn't like hugs? What you're like, I'm not a hugger, I'll fist bump. Your face. So then is it really about you? Is it about the other person, what they need? Because sometimes
I could do this.
You could. So one small thing you can do that helps another person know you matter to me. I think that is, it seems like a small thing, but I think if we realize that we are deeply connected people and that physical touch is so important to all of us. Like we talk about that with babies in development, like they need touch.
Coco loves.
Yeah, like she hugged me for like, I swear it was like an eternity yesterday. Like, and I needed that hug so much. I think she's empathic too. I was like, you know, I need this hug. Like she would not, and I would try to look at her face and she's just like hugging me tighter. But we all need that. Like think about the dogs. You know, Kibo and Hero are like this. They want more touch.
Or they're like this.
Right, living creatures. So I think it seems small and it doesn't require a lot of you, but to that person, it could be the world. So yeah, I think that's beautiful. So for us, for a family practice then, the next time someone shares something important with us, we will
listen.
That's it.
Listen.
Just listen. I love it. Chicken nugget, boom. Okay. So we're going to move on to the witnessing piece. So you're going to complete the first one and then I'll follow up.
Something I heard you say that I want to remember is you ask questions and how sometimes people, like when you were younger, wouldn't would block off your questions. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So something special I saw in you today that you bring to our family community is. So just to like backpedal a little bit, like, so we changed this question. I'm trying to think what the question was last week. Something like I want to do differently, I think was the question. And so I was thinking about in my work and my research, and I might have talked about this last week, but I was explaining to you why I was thinking like, let's switch it to this, is because I love when people are sitting there and telling their story and people are honoring that and holding space for them. And something I incorporate is they're literally writing down, I hear this about you. Like, even though you're telling a really hard thing, you're so strong. Like, you have so much compassion. You have so much love. You heard it?
Yes. It's the S's. It's the S's.
I don't hear it.
It's the S's.
I'm going to slow it down.
Say strong again.
Strong.
How come whenever I ask you to say the word, you don't whistle, but when you're regular talking, you do whistle?
Okay, so now that we have it on film, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to slow it down. See what it does. See if it whistles. Strong. So, what the beautiful part about the retreat, when I can do these retreats, is that people are like, oh my gosh, that was so meaningful to me to be heard in that way. Because I often say to people, like, people will say things about you. Listen to what they're saying. Like, if you hear a lot of people saying, like, my thing is like, have you written a book? And I'm like, okay. Like, how many times I'm gonna hear that? So let me go and write. Someone today was preaching and saying, when they were in Germany, they were talking about how someone said, are you a youth minister? And she was like, no. And she's like, God did not call me to anyone's pulpit. And that day, today, she was on the pulpit preaching. And so get curious about what people say about you. So that's why I think I changed the question to that, because I love the practice of that. And I love seeing with people how they come alive. And there's a little bit of healing that happens there. So it's about speaking life to each other. So the question again is, or the sentence completion is, something special I saw in you today that you bring to our family or community is. I think it's like your compassionate curiosity, like your intuition, that you're so attuned. And this kind of goes into like, if I can follow up with something I heard you say that I want to remember is about, you wish adults remember about play and how it brings joy, is that you're so closely connected to that and desiring that. And it's not just because of your age, it's because of how you're wired, that I think you give a special invitation for me to consider reclaiming that and also helping you to experience that and doing that alongside you. What would that do for us in our relationship and our family? So that was like a 2-for-1. So thank you for that gift. So then you can just do the something special I saw in you today.
Okay. Something I saw special in you today that brings to our family/community is your curiosity and your questions.
Thank you for saying that as special and not as like horrible. Because I get that like, you ask too many questions. You're so analytical. But thank you for saying that as special. My uniqueness is not too much for you.
I'm too much.
No, you're too much for some people, and that's okay. You're not for everybody. We don't need, and then what we do is we shrink ourselves because we'll get the too muchness, and so we try to be a different version of ourselves, and it's like, they just not your people, and that's okay.
I'm a good too much.
Is there a bad too much? I mean, I guess it's relative. Just find your people. Okay, so we will close with your chicken nugget wisdom for this Mr. Rogers.
Did you?
Yeah, I did it. I did the 2-for-1. I did the something I heard you say that I want to remember. All in one with your gift of being like intuitive and like inviting me into a deeper practice.
Okay. Chicken nugget stuff. I think you should do something outside, whether it's like reading a book or something. Just go outside, unless it's cold where you live.
You can still go outside if it's cold.
Yeah, just warm up if it's cold where you live.
So it's a chicken nugget challenge. Go
guess.
outside. And I just downloaded this mindfulness app, and that was one of the things, or it was like a positive affirmation app, and it said, what do you do to cope? And one of the choices was be out in nature. And there's something we say, like in therapeutic practice, it's like, sometimes people make fun of it. They'll say, like, go touch some grass. And it's a grounding technique because God created the heavens and the earth, and he created us. So we're all interconnected. So sometimes that can really help. Or even how we went to the aviary and like seeing the animals and things like that. So cute. And how beautiful that is to think about. Or that, even the armadillo. You know, Miss Kamika got armadillos in her backyard or her neighbor's yard down in Texas. They got armadillos rolling around down there. But to think about that creature and how it was so intricate and created by God, like we also are intricate in design.
It looks like a baby rock.
It does look like a baby rock. So I think that's a beautiful chicken nugget. Like, go outside. We need that vitamin D. We need fresh air. We can't be closed in with the curtains closed. Get out in some natural light.
And the heat in this room.
And the heat, it's a little warm. We're right though. All right. So we will see y'all next week. Watch that biopic, documentary, whatever it's called, film.
It's really good.
And report back because it's so good. And then read the article because I'm putting that in the show notes too. The article's good.
I'm not reading that.
I think I'm going to give it to you to read for practice. It's a good article. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Bye. Won't you be my neighbor?
I'm so glad you joined me and Mommy for this episode of Living in 3D Power. I hope you like it. Now do me a favor before you leave. Subscribe to our Substack and make sure you subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts too. And hey, do me another favor. Share this episode with a friend or family member. If something we said made you laugh, made you smile, or you know it might mean something to them, just send it away. Okay, one more favor. That's a lot of favors, I know. Head over to the comments on our social media. Tell us what made you say, "That's deep, bro." Because your words encourage other people and they encourage us too. See you next time.